That's Mr. Gao Xinqing, President of China Investment Corporation, talking to our reporter Martina Fuchs in Davos. Now, Martina joins us live on the ground. For us, she's got two movers and shakers at the forum, ready to talk about their impression at this year's event, as well as outlook for 2014. Martina, before getting to heated discussion, how cold is it in Davos?
Junfang, this year is much warmer than previous years, I think due to climate change. It stopped, though earlier snowing. It was a bit cold, but we are actually wrapping up today almost with the WEF, but although most participants have left, there are still two exciting participants here with us. We have Helmut Schütte, who is the Dean and Vice President of the China-Europe International Business School, as well as Michael Andrew, who is the Global Chairman of KPMG. Now, we had a session today on China's financial future, and let me ask Helmut, first of all, from a European and Chinese perspective, what kind of reforms are you hoping to see from China this year?
I guess we will see more market, and that means there will be more competition, which means that those who buy products from companies will get better products at lower prices and therefore get better benefits. And markets will not be divided on the basis of allocating certain opportunities, but by offering something which is really good for the final consumer or for the business partners. Very good.
Michael, KPMG is one of the big four auditors in the world with a heavy presence in China as well. What do your business expansion plans look like for the country in this year 2014?
Well, Martina, the transition to the new economy is providing three huge opportunities for us. The first is the modernisation of the state-owned enterprises and the restructuring of the financial system. So there's a strong demand for our consulting and advisory skills. Secondary, we're seeing more private Chinese companies invest overseas to expand their market and get access to technology. So we're helping them through our global China practice. And finally, we're finding that China's got a great pool of young talent. So we're doing a lot of our global research now in some of the offshore centres in China.
Helmut, the World Bank still ranks China only 96th in terms of ease of doing business. What kind of change is needed to lift this ranking?
I think there are obvious things to do, more law and more transparency. And perhaps one should apply what David Cameron this morning presented as British government policy. If any minister launches another regulation, that person should take out of the market two other regulations instead. So make it easier to operate.
Michael, from a private sector point of view, what kind of changes are you urging?
Well, I think private investors actually want certainty. Therefore, they want the rule of law and they want predictability. And they want to be able to make sure their long-term investment assumptions are correct. China can be too unpredictable at times. So I agree with Helmut. If we can actually have long-term regulations, clear direct policy direction, and people will stick to that over a period of time, then investors will increasingly be confident about doing business in China.
Helmut, you are based in Shanghai, which has launched the Shanghai Free Trade Zone last year. Now, in terms of international trade, of course, it's hoped that the Free Trade Zone will boost international dynamics and trade with exporters and importers. What kind of outlook do you have?
I think Shanghai is very well positioned in being the sort of the international center of the whole country. Now, we have heard at least 1,000 speeches about the free trade zone, and we've had 100 conferences, but not much detail has come out. So we will have to see. I think one may argue whether this is really necessary. One could also liberalize the whole market and not only a special zone within one given city.
Michael, with China's booming role in international trade, obviously companies and businesses also want to have more corporate governance. What do companies need to do in order to be more transparent and show that they have corporate governance?
Martina, I think corporate governance tends to be more process-driven than actually executed within China. So actually starting to see them introduce non-executive directors and third-party independents, publish greater transparency results, have continuous disclosure where material events are actually communicated to the marketplace, not hidden away. So the more transparency, the more communication, I think the more confidence that investors will have putting foreign direct investment, whether it be portfolio or non-portfolio, into the Chinese market.
Thank you.
Can I just add to the free trade zone? Perhaps Shanghai should accelerate the development of Shanghai as a global financial center. I think that would be very useful and could serve the whole world.
Gentlemen, thank you both very much for joining us today. Back to you, Tin Fang, in the warmer studio from colder Davos. Thank you.
That's a very nice and heated discussion, but I could barely believe that China only ranks 96 in the world in terms of business environment. But thanks very much, Martina, and your guests.